Hello and welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of our scripting tutorial series. Okay, if you haven't watched part 1, you should go watch it because it's Studios. But if you already know every tool about Roblox Studios and you just want to know how to code, then this video is for you. Because I got a comment. That we should just start scripting. So I was like, okay, they want to start scripting. Well, okay, let's start scripting that. So what I'm gonna show you today is how to basically today. Well, the title of the video is referencing and properties. That's like part of so basically what we're gonna do is look at the properties of the part, reference it in our script. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, so name, so actually wait, first we're gonna we're gonna show you how to basically code. And basically, wait, let me start over. So we're basically gonna show you how to code. No, we're gonna show you how to manipulate the properties by using code. But well, it's not Lua. So we're gonna show you how to manipulate all of this. But first, we're going to show you the name property because this is the most important part. And we're gonna probably name it part manipulate. And you see a space right there. Just put a space, just test it out, because I'm gonna show you how there's gonna be a problem with this, and I'm gonna basically resolve that problem. But basically, so you see all of these right here. I showed you all of them, but if you're not familiar with them, this is the brick color. This changes the color of the part. This basically casts a shadow to it. So you see that shadow right there? I can just remove it and it will be gone. Okay. But usually games keep that there. It makes the game a little more realistic. Color, same thing as the brick color, but you could basically get a different color by just mixing up a bunch of these colors right here. Then the material, this is just how it just gives the part a texture. Put it back to plastic, maybe make it smooth plastic. And then I don't even know. I'm just gonna tell you the truth, I don't even know. Oh no, that's for, okay, it's for this material manager and the material variant. This just meant you can make new text. Reflectance, this just makes it so basically reflects light. I'll just show you. It just basically reflects and it looks like glass now. It looks like glass. It's reflecting. Basically reflects light. Transparency, this makes it so it goes slightly invisible, and then you can just make it so it's complete. Then we have the parent, which is the workspace. The parent is basically think of it as a parent and a child. The parent is the guardian of that child. Okay, it is basically the leader. So think of that this is the parent and this is the child. These are the child. And name, I already showed you. You can just change the name of the part. And then size, basically I actually teach you that already, so you know what that is. And basically, yeah. And can't collide, it makes it so you can't collide with that object. You will just go through it. Okay, but if you put can't collide on like it is right now, that means you cannot go through it. Right? This is a new thing I think they added. I don't know what it does. You could probably just figure out. I don't. And then I showed you what the anchor is, and yeah, basically that's everything. So now we're going to start I guess. Yeah, basically now we're going to start scripting because, you know, we need to know how to script. We need to know how to do that. Okay? I didn't go over it last video. Last video I was just explaining basically how to use Roblox Studios for beginner. Now, you will actually start scripting. So, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to manipulate properties, like I said before. So let's just make an example. So what if I wanted to change, let's say, the transparency of the object? You know, I just wanted to just do it. I could do game. Yeah, I can do game. That workspace. Actually, no. Yeah, I can just do game. That workspace. So game, right? And then this is the child of game. This is the child. This is the parent of workspace. And then we'll do, since this part is a parent, yeah, this part is the parent of workspace, we can just put dot and we'll put what the part's name. So part manipulate. Okay. We'll do dot yeah, dot transparent. Yeah, there. So then we'll just do equals 0. Or no, actually equals 0.5 if I wanted to make it a little 0. I mean a little invisible. Alright. So but there's a problem. There's a problem here, and it says unknown global. Okay, the script is confused because there's a space here, and it's like, wait, why is there a space here? It should be connected. It doesn't understand, because you're trying to specify an object, okay, and it's confused. It's just, it doesn't know what you're talking about, because like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, it thinks that these two things are different things. They're not connected. And if I play the game, like right now, it's going to have an error. By the way, have output open, just go to view. But it's going to have a problem. But ignore all these other problems. Yep, you see it has a problem right here. Workspace.part manipulated.script 1. So this just specifies right here. If you see these things, it says script and then the 2 dots and then 2 dots, incomplete statement, expected assignment, or a function call. So this one tells us that it starts, this error that's happening is at line 1. See, it has a 1 right here, so it shows us that it's at line 1 and that we should look at line 1 to understand what is going on. Okay, but it says right here, incomplete statement, expected assignment, or a function. So yeah, so it's like it doesn't know what manipulated is. So to fix that, all you have to do is do this. So you have to put this, you have to put these two things, and then put quotes, okay, and then put the part name, part manipulated. Okay, and then if we play the game, oh wait, I did a bug on my part. Okay, remember guys, when there's a dot right here, don't put another dot, just keep it like this, because what it's doing, it's basically making these two things connect. They are so just remember, do not put a dot here, just put this and put this, and then put a dot at it. And then if we go to our part, we can see that the transparency has changed. And then if we go over here and check the transparency is 0.5. Like in our script, we put 0.5, make it equal to 0.5. Alright, so that's one way of, that's basically one way of manipulating the transparency. But if you wanted to manipulate, let's say, the reflectance is basically the same thing, by the way, just to tell you. But yeah, it changes the reflectance, and then you just put a number right here, to change that property. Alright, but let's say if we wanted to change the material, we'll put material, and then we'll put material, and then we'll put these two quotes, because this is just a string. This thing is just a string. So then we'll just put material equal to maybe neon, and the material, if you go to it, so right now it's the material neon, right? And then if you go to it and click it, you'll see that the material has now turned to neon. Before it was smooth plastic, and now it turns into neon. In script, we turn material to we give it the string, and inside of the string is neon, right? And basically it takes this information back and puts it into the parts property material, and puts this information in that, makes it equal to this. So then it turns it to neon. Alright, pretty simple stuff. I mean, simple for me, of course, because I already know how to code. But you guys will, for you in the future, and probably when you know like a bunch of code, this will probably be easy. This is probably gonna be very but okay, so I'm gonna just give you another example. What if we wanted to change the brick color? Okay, you just wanted to change the color, so I would do brick color, okay, equal to brick color dot new. And then what we could put in here is you can just put a string, and then if you put, you know, type a letter or some random letter, you'll see all these types of, you know, basically, you know, words, and these words correlate to the types of colors in the brick color. Okay, so let's say I wanted silver, you know, silver's right here, so I'll click on silver, you know, and then now it's going to make a brick color. It's gonna get this brick color, and it's going to send that information to the parts brick color property, which is this property, and it will assign it to silver. Okay, so if we start the game, okay, wait, oh, I think we got, guys, we have another problem. Oh no, that's actually the color, silver. I mean, it looks normal as you can see, but it changed to that a color that we assigned it in the script. Okay, but let's get crazy with this, you know. How about if we change it to blue, bright blue, you know? We'll change it to bright blue. As you can see, it turned into blue. It is now the color blue, and it has been assigned the bright blue, that script. So, you know, and this stuff you will probably use in your games to change certain stuff. About I didn't show you yet, but there's mesh parts, and those are basically parts that are basically imported. I'm gonna say, yeah, basically imported from Blender or anything else, or you imported it from the like you got it from a website and you imported it in Roblox. Basically that's what it is, and then you'll probably use it on that mesh parts. You'll probably use mesh parts a lot, because regular parts and making stuff in Roblox is like not that easy. You kind of need help from other platforms to get like better results, you know. But yeah, so you'll probably use all of these properties. I'm telling you, you'll probably use all these. But now I'm going to show you color. Color is kind of like, the color property is kind of the same as brick color. It's just, you know, a little different, because we're not describing names now we're setting numbers. We're setting these numbers, and I'll show you these numbers. So it's red, green, and blue. RGB. You guys know what? Yeah, you know, have you heard of like but whatever. So have you heard of RGB light? So RGB light, you guys probably already know what RGB light is. Basically, it can change into different colors. That's basically what RGB is. Okay, red, green, and blue. And your computer even uses this system, RGB. So you can either give it more blue, as you see, it's going to up to the blue. But it's not going to, yeah, so it's not correctly going to the blue. It's going kind of over here. It's because there's other property, well, actually there's other colors that have already, they already have numbers in them, and it's just going in to like kind of the center, like the middle, but as you add more and more, it's going to be dragged over here, and then it won't go to the middle. But let's say I just make them all that, if they're all the same, they're just gonna be plain out white. Okay, plain out white. Okay, plain out. I mean, it might get a little grayish, but if they're the same, they're basically gonna just be white, or gray, or black. Actually, I think black is 0. Yeah, black is just 0. That's just but yeah. But you can manipulate these numbers in the script. So what you would do to manipulate these numbers, you would put color 3 that from RGB, so it gets RGB, and then if you go in here, you can do usually developers just go in here to just get all their colors pretty easily, and then after you find your color that you want, you can just press it, and then it'll just basically assign that color. Right now it's just perfectly blue. It's just all blue. Right? But what I can do, it could just be black. This would be black, or you can turn it to a little green, or completely green, or you can do a little bit of red, or complete. But you can just configure this as much as you want. You can put the orangey to 100. That's kind of like a pinkish color. There's no limit to this. You can make any color, really. So, and let's say if I do put that certain type of color, so let's do I'm just gonna spam my buttons right now. So 80, 100, and 200. I assign it to this color. I think that's like a bluish color. And if I play the game, it will set it to that color. It's a blue color. And then if you check the script, by the way, if you change this or this, it will just basically show. So it shows here royal blue, but if you go here, it assigned it basically assigned what the information we gave it, 80, 100, and 200, and it did the same thing over here, assigned the color property to this. Now that you know everything about modifying colors, now we can show you about size. Actually, yeah, we can show you like how to change size. Okay, and changing size, it basically makes the part bigger or smaller or whatever. And in the script we can also manipulate that as well. Alright, so we can do dot size, get that property, and then we could do vector3 dot new. Okay, and what this just means, it just means that has I just don't put strings in it, by the way, because we're not dealing with strings, we're dealing with numbers. But what vector3 means is 3 vectors, x, y, and z. Okay, so what we do, we can basically make it to 300, do some big numbers, 100, 100, 200, and then it will take these vectors, this information and all these vectors, and it will assign size to it. It will change this and change it to this. Okay, and then if you play the game, it'll be that certain. Oh, yep. Well, it's really big, pretty big. But yeah, and as we see, we can go to it and assign assign the information we gave it: 300, 100, 200. Alright, then we can, and that's pretty much it for like size. It's not that hard really. It's just 3 vectors, and I'm just gonna teach you a little bit more. These vectors can also be seen in here. Last time I told you to take it off or something like that, you might get it out of the way, but it actually helps you. So as you can see, Z is blue, Y is up, and X is red. So we'll go here, and as you can see, well actually Y is green, and then X is red, and then Z is blue. So this is Z. So as you can see, when we push this, Z moves, and then it's a little bigger each time we move it. Alright, then we can go to red, which is this vector property. Then we can just do this, and it makes that bigger from that side, and it can also make it bigger from this side as well. And then we have the Y property, which is green, and then we can just push it up, and that vector property. So with this knowledge, you could basically, you can just make, if you make this like 1,000, you will see that the part is gonna get very big. And we can't even see it. Yep. The part was way too big that it actually just, I think, probably fell over. But let's just bring it down to what we have right here, right? Copy this and then bring it here. Alright, you'll see a lot of these decimals if you use like studs and stuff like that. But yeah, this is just to be a little bit more precise. You know, Roblox lets you a little. But if we choose like one of these properties and we just make it go to, you know, 50, this will get bigger all this way. It'll just get bigger all the way up. Alright, all the way up, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. Alright, if you see, it gets really big at the vector Y position. Alright, and then let's say if we choose this to get bigger, the Z which goes this way, and see, it goes this way. It will go that like, it will basically get bigger from over here and over. So do 330. Also, if you see any of these breaking points, delete them, because they're kind of, I don't know if developers really use those, but I have to get into more of that, check if they do or if it's useful. So if I put 50 on this one, it'll get bigger on both of these sides, and boom, it got bigger on both of those sides. It got pretty big on both of those sides. So but then if we move it this 50, these 10, you're gonna see it getting bigger on these two sides, this side, and so let's test that, and boom, it got bigger on those both two sides. Got pretty big. So now that you know that like which vector makes it big on what side, now we're gonna teach you how to manipulate position property, because the position property is kind of like the size property, but we're not making it bigger. Now we're moving it to a certain position in the game. So maybe we want it over here, or we want it to spawn over here or over here. So if I put 0 0 0, just the position 0 0 0, as I said last in the last part, well, part 1, 0 0 will go into the middle of the map, i.e. the center of the game. So we play the game. Now we see it. So as you see, the game also put us at the center. Now this part is at the center of the whole game. Alright, so it's the center. So now with this knowledge, we could also see that in the move property, there's also these blue, red, and Y. Basically Y, X, and Z. Alright, so basically this also goes with, you know, position. So we can just basically make it 50 this way, minus 50 this. By the way, minus 50 is basically going backwards. Alright, so it will probably go down. This would go down. Actually, maybe I don't want to do that but now you know. Okay, and then we might do 100. So now if we play the game, it should be in the air. Well, actually I didn't anchor it, so it's not going to appear in the air, but it will appear in a different position. So let's actually just put anchor, and then now play it. It should be, yep, it's now in the air because we made its Y property 30. Right? So now it's in the air. And you can move this wherever you like, as much as you like. And also, what most developers do, they just move the property to a certain spot. Let's say over here, you can move the property. What if I want, let's say I want the property to be up here, but you know, in like the game it's over there, but then when the game starts, it spawns over here. You can just go to position, right? Take the position, then put it back over there, then take this and then put that certain position. Alright, then play it, and boom, now that part is at that certain position where I put it last time. And so that's how you can manipulate the position property. And probably now I'm going to show you orientation is the same thing. I'm just going to show you this last thing. Orientation is the same thing, but you can rotate the part. Now we are rotating this part now we can just like, as you see, when I rotate it, the orientation moves. Right? And this thing also has the same thing. It has a green part, a red part, and a blue part. Right? Z, X, Y. Alright, gonna move this. Hey, what the? It's not letting me move. Don't know why, but oh, I guess today doesn't want to work today. But you can move them. I guess they don't want to move today. But comma 0 would just be straight on. Like straight on. And if you move this, it'll move a little that way, move a little this way, and you know, you can go crazy with it. But you can also use this tool, but for some reason my rotate tool is not. But we can just go in here, and to manipulate it, it's the same thing, vector 3, right? We can basically do, you know, when the game starts, we can just make it so it rotates this. Then when we play the game, we'll have that type of rotation. And boom, when we play the game, it has like a weird type of rotate. It kind of looks like it's sticking out of the ground. Pretty cool. And you'll probably use rotation to probably make, you know, let's say an arrow for a tutorial. You can like a game tutorial, you can like make it so basically the front part of the, you know, arrow is pointing towards, you know, an objective that you have to complete. You know, you can do that with orientation. So but now that we're done with all the vector 3 stuff, now we're going to show you these stuff with the check marks. You're like, what? How would you, like, you're like, what? How would you manipulate these like properties? Like, they're just check marks. Like, would you put equal check mark or something? I don't know. Check mark? No, you wouldn't do that. Okay, because the check mark is an unknown global, and the code doesn't know what you're talking about when you say check mark. So instead, what do we do? So let's say I wanted to manipulate can collide. You know, what if I didn't want? Let's say I didn't want my part to be, you know, have collision. Like, maybe I want my part not to be touched. You know, maybe I want it so players can go through my part. So I would put can collide equals false. Alright, so to take off this check mark, so this would be false, right? And the check mark means true. Okay, so let's say I make it can collide equal to false, and I play the game. I can go to it, right? And I can just go through the part complete, right? Nothing is stopping me, nothing is pushing me. I'm not having collision with this part, I'm just going through it. Okay, and collision, I'm gonna tell you, it's good for, like, let's say you wanted to make level system, you know, you wanted it so there's like a paywall here, and you had to, you know, like basically, you know, like in, you know, simulators, there would be an area, and to buy that area you had to get coins, you know, break stuff. Like in Pet Simulator X, you would have to break stuff, right? And then you would get money, and then you could basically, after you get the amount of money that they want you to get in order to get to the next level, you need like maybe 500, you know, 500 gold to get through. And let's say you have the certain requirements to enter, then basically the game would make the part you know, not kinkable, so you could just go through the part, right? We'll go through to the next level. So that's how you could use it. Right? So you'll probably use Kinkolite a lot. And if you want to do the opposite, it's true. And basically, I will touch the part. And you already saw me touching the part a bunch, so you already know the results. Okay, so the part, you're touching the part a bunch, you know. You're just hopping all over the part. So that's how you manipulate the property Kinkolite. It's just like, it's pretty easy. It's like true. It's true if you want this thing, false if you don't. Alright. Then cannot touch. This you know, right here it says it just determines if touched ended events fire. So we're not gonna show this today because we're not showing events today. That's for another video that's going to be in our series. So we're not going to show this today. We're not showing this today because that I would have to talk about the events, and we're not on events yet. Which these events I think are called built-in functions, but I don't know. Yeah, actually they are called basically built-in. So, but let's say if you want to take the anchored property, and I'll show you what anchored is. It basically just makes it so the part is stuck at that Y position. Basically, I showed you with the anchored. Basically, I showed you what the anchored property does. What it does, basically, just makes it so it's stuck at that certain Y position. Just makes it so gravity is non-existent. Basically, so the part will just stay up in the air. Okay. So basically, to manipulate it, it's the same thing, true and false, because it has the box. So true if you do want it to stay up in the air, or false if you just want it to come straight down. So right now, as you see, it is true. Okay, but we can make it false, right? And if we make it false, it's just that, right? And you'll see the part come crashing down. Yep, boom, it just came crashing down. Right? Because if you check it, its property. Now, if you check the anchored property, it shows the box not filled with the check mark. It's false. Right? And then let's see. That's actually, yeah, basically that is basically it for all of us. I could show you massless. What massless does, it just makes it so basically the part is like, it doesn't weigh anything. It's massless. It doesn't weigh anything. You can see if I hold this, it says if true, the part will be massless when welded to another part that is not mass. Basically, let's say you had a tool, you know, a gun, and it was massless. Or if I had a tree and I made a tree a tool and I made it like not massless, it would like basically ruin my movement, because basically my character is fighting with the mass of the tree, and the tree is pretty big, so the mass is just crushing. That's what it is. I'm not gonna show you because this is a beginner tutorial and not an advanced. We will have advanced, but right now we're building the beginner. So that is basically it. But I'm gonna show you some other things that you need to know about, scripting. One thing that I didn't show you is find first child or wait for child. So first I'm going to show you. So if you see wait for child, return to the child of the instance with the given name. If the child does not exist, it will yield the current bread until it does. So what it's saying, when it says wait for child, it's going to stop and then wait until the part has been, loaded or has been made in the game, has been like this. So let's say I start the game, right? This part might not be loaded into the game, and if I put, if I put this false, it'll come up with the error because it can't find this part. It hasn't been loaded yet, so it can't find it. But to stop that error, you can just put wait for child. Okay, we could do game.workspace wait for child, and then you can just put part manip and then put anchor equals false, and you'll see that the same thing happens. Alright, you'll see the same thing happens. The part falls, and if you check its properties, anchored is set to false. Alright, so that's wait for child. But find first child, what it does, as it says right here, returns the first child of the instance found with the given name. Alright, so what it tries to do, it tries to find that specific child that it's trying to find the first child that is named that. So there could be something that is similar to it, and I'll just find the first one. Okay. So this could be useful for mainly everything. So let's say if you had actually I can't yet because that is for another tutorial, which is if then statements, which I'm gonna teach you later. I was about to give you a sneak peek to but yeah. Okay, it just finds the child in the parent. Basically, this is the parent, and it's searching through every single part. Just trying to find that certain child. If we do that, the same thing will happen. Same thing will happen. It will fall, and if you check the property anchored is set to false. And yeah, so, and I'm just gonna show you one last thing before this tutorial ends. So the last thing I'm gonna show you is when you put your part name to a number 65. Okay, 65. So let's say your name part 65, and then you put dot 65. As you see here, it breaks because this is a number. Okay, and it's see, like in the script, it's like, wait, this is a number, not a string, so it doesn't get what I'm putting a number. It's confused. It doesn't know what I'm talking about. This is no string, this is a number, so it's confused. Okay, to resolve that, you do the same thing, put 65. Okay, and in here 60, it'll appear as a string. Now it'll appear in green text. I'll show you 64. Numbers usually appear in orange. That's where you saw that this whole thing appeared in orange. Alright, so if I put 65, it'll appear as orange text. But if you see text, it appears at and that's basically it for this tutorial. And yeah, that's like basically it for this tutorial. The next tutorial is going to be about variables, so I hope you're ready to know more about coding. But anyways, Gloomcraft is about inspiration and learning, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.